Hello everyone and welcome to another review. It's the first review back. I can't wait to get into it, so let's just get started with it. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance called Eau de Cartier by the House of Cartier. Now this fragrance was released in the year 2001. This is an EDT version. There are two versions of the same fragrance. There's an EDT and there's a concentrate version. The concentrate version you can easily distinguish by the fact that it has green juice, whereas the EDT has this white clear juice. So that's really the main difference between the two. Now this comes in three main sizes. The three main sizes that this comes in are 6.7 or a 200 milliliter, a 3.4 ounce, and a 1.7 ounce. The 1.7 is going to run you $55 retail. The 3.4 ounce is going to run you $65 retail, and the 6.7 or the 200 milliliter is going to run you $85 retail. So as you can see, it really benefits you to go high and purchase something bigger as far as this fragrance goes. And it kind of actually suits the fragrance, but I'll kind of get into that a little bit later. Now, again, this fragrance was released in the year 2001, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the notes of the fragrance. The notes of the fragrance consist of, at our top, we have coriander, yuzu, and bergamot. For our mid, we have violet leaf, violet, and lavender. And for our base, we have cedar, patchouli, musk, and white amber. So right off the bat, when you spray this fragrance, you get a very fresh, a very clean, a very professional citrus. Now, the note that's in this is really yuzu. And the yuzu note really gives this nice sour type of a citrus type of a scent. For those of you who aren't familiar with the type of the scent, if you have smelled l'Odyssée, Isimiake's l'Odyssée, then that kind of gives off a similar vibe. But this one is a lot cleaner and it's less sour than that one is. It still is sour, but not as much. Now, it also comes across as extremely professional. That's the best way that I can actually put this scent, and thus suited, it's actually a perfect work scent. Once you get past the citrus, you get a little bit more of the violet leaf that comes in. It kind of gives it a nice little tinge to it. It's either the violet leaf or the violet. Either way, you get a little bit of violet. Doesn't smell feminine, so don't let that actually confuse you with anything, even though the fragrance is marketed both for men and women. Now, it comes across as sweet and clean, and as the fragrance kind of progresses, it does tend to kind of keep a linear note. It has those, the cedar, the patchouli, the musk, the white amber, so it has those woody, amberish notes at the bottom of it, which a little bit seep in, but pretty much the citrus remains dominant throughout this entire fragrance, which is pretty noteworthy for the fragrance itself. Now, it also has another quality to it that I know may sound strange, but let me explain it. It has a coldness to it. By coldness, what I mean by that is a lot of fragrances are sometimes described as being warm fragrances. Well, this is the opposite of it. It comes across as cold, clean, and calculating, basically. I know that sounds really strange, but that's really the best impression for it. And that's also why I really do associate this as one of a quintessential or a perfect work scent. If you're looking for a workhorse for work, Eau de Cartier is something that you definitely want to take a look at. On some of its other aspects, it doesn't really project heavily. By projecting heavily, I mean, as you spray it on, people are not going to catch your drift or catch your smell from across the room or even from a couple feet away. They're going to have to get up close to you or pass by really close to you in order to kind of smell you for it. And so that's why I think it's a perfect work scent. At work, I'm the kind of person who doesn't really want to be, I guess you could say, out there and projecting or smelling heavily for it. It's just something that I really wish, or that I really want to kind of be in the background, a little bit more subtle. You want to smell good when people do smell you, but you don't want to be shouting out. And that's really what Eau de Cartier accomplishes. Now, I go about 4 to 6 sprays on it. The performance, like I said, is a little bit on the low side, so I get a little bit liberal with this. And oftentimes, I'll do about 6 sprays for this one. Season-wise, I think this is a good all-around seasonal fragrance, but I think its best performance is suited in the spring and the summer months. It doesn't really have the heaviness for the winter months, but I have worn it in the winter, obviously, as it is around now, and it has done extremely well for that actual time. Now, as far as age group goes, I don't think it's really suited for any age group, except for, I would say, if you're a college professional or if you're a business professional, obviously, and you're going to work, you work in an office setting, go ahead and take a look at this one. Now, as far as compliments goes, compliments-wise, I didn't really get much compliments except for one compliment that I actually got yesterday. And it was from a person who was coming to my desk. They were asking a question, and she was asking a question about, you know, something work-related, basically. And I was like, okay, let me take a look at what you're talking about. Go ahead and, you know, log in on my machine here. And as she kind of leaned over, she commented, she's like, oh, you smell good, basically. And I was like, oh, thank you. And that kind of gets to the drift that I'm saying, is people won't really smell you unless you're up close to them and really catch your drift for it. So with all that said, if I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I give it this fragrance a rating of an 8 out of 10. I think it's a solid fragrance. It's a solid fragrance, especially if you're looking for a work fragrance. But outside of that, and it might actually couple well as far as a, I would say, kind of like a miniature signature scent. You could wear it on other occasions. I recommend it for work, but it can couple as a signature scent, so you might want to smell it. One of the downsides to it, though, is it does have a sour note, and I know sour notes tend to go one of two ways on people. So this is one that you want to try on your skin before you kind of, you know, take the dive and buy it. Another thing is obviously it doesn't have the projection. So while I espouse the virtues of having a scent that isn't really that powerful, some people this may be a turnoff. Some people like to shout all the time. And if you're into one of those scents, don't get this one because this is going to be like that. It's also a very linear scent, so if you're expecting your scent to change or anything like that, this is not the scent that you're going to look in. But still, I think it's one of the better citruses that are out there. It's not really a generic citrus, and it has a very nice, cold, calculating feel to it, and it has a very professional feel to it. So definitely, I personally say take a look at it. 8 out of 10 is my rating. All right? If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free. Send me a message, leave me a note, do whatever you gotta do. Thank you, take care of yourselves, and have a great day.